What's up? It's Ben from WODprep, and in this video, I'm gonna help you improve your CrossFit performance. So whether you're trying to improve for the open, or if you're trying to improve for a local competition, or maybe you just want to move from the scale division to the RX division, this video, I'm gonna give you 5 tips that will help improve your CrossFit performance. Really quick, I do wanna note, I am not associated with CrossFit HQ in any way, shape, or form. These are WODprep's opinions, but I am a CFL2 trainer and I've owned a box for several years. So I hope that these tips help. Let's get into it. Tip number 1 is you need to be scaling your reps, not your ROM. So what ROM stands for is range of motion. Let me give you an example workout. Let's say it's 3 rounds for time of 100 double unders, 10 pull-ups, and 10 push-ups, whatever. A lot of people are gonna see those double unders and say, whoa, can't do that. I'm gonna do single unders instead. And a lot of CrossFit gym coaches will say, hey, if you can't do double unders, everyone who's in this class, if you can't do double unders, just substitute 2 single unders for every 1 double under. So then your workout would turn into 200 single unders, 10 pull-ups, 10 push-ups. But that is not how you are going to get better at double unders. If your goal is to improve your CrossFit performance and double unders are one of the main barriers preventing you from getting better, then you need to scale your reps and not your ROM. So scaling your range of motion, hypothetically in this situation, would be changing the movement altogether. So you're scaling the movement down from double unders to single unders. Technically the range of motion is changing because you're not jumping quite as high, but whatever. So what I want you to do is focus on scaling the reps. So instead of looking at this workout and saying, I can't do 100 double unders, so that means I can't do the workout. I can't do double unders today. False. What you need to do is change the workout. Maybe cutting the reps in half and making your workout 3 rounds for time of 50 double unders, 10 pull-ups, 10 push-ups. Or you could even cut it into 1/4, so 25, 10, and 10. Or heck, even 10, 10, and 10 if you really struggle with it. The goal here is to balance what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying just to get a good workout? You just want to get a good sweat? Then the single unders might be the route to go. But if you're trying to truly dedicate to improve your performance as an athlete and finally get to the RX division or get those double unders, figured out, then you need to be doing double unders. So that is point number 1, scale your reps, not range of motion. And really quick, I just want to let you know this applies to all movements. You could use the same example for muscle ups. Instead of substituting pull-ups for muscle ups, if you can get 1 muscle up done, then do 1 muscle up. Even if the round calls for 5, do 1. That's so much better than scaling and defaulting to an easier movement just to get a sweat in. Number 2, you must have accessory programming. I don't know what gym you go to. I don't know what programming you follow, but the overwhelming majority, I'd say 99% of the athletes that I talk to don't do accessory programming. As an affiliate owner, my goal was to help my members get in the best shape as they possibly could. I wanted to improve their GPP, right? I wanted them to just get more fit. So I didn't necessarily care about each individual athlete's goals specifically relating to their performance. So the burden is on you as an athlete to identify where you need to improve and add in just a little bit of accessory programming to change it. When I say accessory programming, all of my courses, all of my individual movement courses, like for muscle ups and double unders and pull ups and handstand push-ups, each one of them is generally 2 to 3 days per week, 10 to 15 minutes per session. That's all you need to do. A lot of times you can do the accessory programming at home, or most gyms will say, hey, sure, if you show up 15 minutes before class, off to the side, perhaps you can knock out some of this double under practice that you wanted to do. So you have to figure out where to fit it into your schedule, but just adding 2 to 3 sessions per week, 10 to 15 minutes per session, focused on one specific skill is going to drastically increase your performance. The main key here is just understanding that you can't rely solely on your gym's programming. Sometimes you have to add in a little bit of extra work to make sure you're seeing the progress that you want. Tip number 3, it goes along with number 2, you have to stay laser focused. You have to stay focused on your goals. A lot of times I'll see people do some muscle up practice, and then 3 days later they're working on their double unders, and then a couple days later they're working on their back squat or their deadlift and their Olympic lifting form, and they're just all over the map. Constantly varied is fantastic if you're trying to improve your general fitness. But if we're trying to improve our specific skills, you need to be focused. So instead of hopping around trying a bunch of random drills and accessory work for a bunch of different programs and a bunch of different movements, focus on an individual skill and dedicate to that one skill over the next 8 to 12 weeks. So if you go through one cycle of double under training, chances are you're going to be a lot further along than if you just dabbled in a bunch of other skills. So pick a skill and focus on it. The key is picking a skill that's going to move you the farthest in the right direction. And that leads me to point number 4. Once we're focused, you have to make sure you're focused on the right thing. So that is prioritization. You have to prioritize the right movements. Let's hypothetically say I need to work on pistols, I need to work on muscle ups, and I need to work on double unders. Which one of these is the most important skill to focus on? If I had to guess, if I had to put my finger on it, double unders is going to show up in more workouts more frequently than the other 2 movements. So I would prioritize double unders. Once you can check off, let's say 30 to 50 unbroken consistently, then perhaps it's time to move on to the muscle ups. And then if you want, you can move on to the pistols. But instead of dabbling in all 3, or maybe doing the pistols first because you really want to learn them, I would take a more strategic approach and focus on the movements that mean the most to your workouts. And my last point, point number 5, is before prioritizing, before identifying the movement you need to work on, you need to make sure you're identifying the foundation. So another example, let's say you need to work on kipping pull-ups, you're also trying to learn butterfly pull-ups, and you still need to learn muscle ups. What is the foundational movement that will improve all 3 of those things? It's strict pull-up strength. If you do not have strict pull-up strength, if let's say you can't even do 2 or 3 strict pull-ups, then you can throw out all 3 of those. You don't need to be doing kipping pull-ups, you shouldn't be doing butterfly pull-ups, and you probably won't be able to do a muscle up. So instead of focusing on those high-level skills that you see all the cool athletes doing, focus on the foundation. Find the true foundation of what you need to improve, and then it's going to trickle down to those other movements. I can't tell you how many athletes we've had that have gone through our strict pull-up strength program, and then they find out that their kipping pull-ups are improving, their muscle up attempts are improving. Even if they can already do strict pull-ups, we just add a little bit of extra strength and a little bit of extra capacity there, and then it trickles down to all these other movements. So find the foundation, and then that is going to help. So quick recap, what are the 5 things you need to do to increase your CrossFit performance? Number 1, scale reps, not range of motion. Number 2, you must have an accessory program. Number 3, stay focused. Number 4, prioritize your movements. And number 5, find the foundation. So if you apply all 5 of these things, I promise you your CrossFit performance is going to go up. If you want any of our free training guides that are going to teach you exactly how to do that, make sure you go to WODprep.com and choose a movement that you need help with. We have a free training guide associated with it, and I'll send it directly to your email. Again, it's totally free. Last but not least, the question of the day: which movement are you going to focus on? Based on the 5 things I just talked about, which movement are you going to focus on for the next 8 weeks in your training? Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Click subscribe so you don't miss another one of these videos. And again, leave a comment below. I want to know, what are you going to work on? Peace.